Okay, so if you must be an intraday trader, you must understand details. Okay, when I say you must understand details, you must understand details. Okay, by details, I mean why price is doing what it is doing. Always ask the whys. Always ask the whys. If price is buying, why is he buying? Okay, if we are selling, why are we selling? Always ask the whys. They're very important. Okay, so some of us saw price react from a particular area, and then the only reason, where is Curtis Junior, the junior Curtis? Okay, I think he's not here. Okay, some of us saw this area on the 15 minutes time frame. Okay, some of us saw this area on the 15 minutes time frame, and we just reacted because it was another block. That is not enough reason to take a trade. You can work with that, but then it's not mastery. You should understand the whys that are inside of this area. Okay, you should be able to understand the whys that are inside of this area. If price must react of this area, then there should be a reason why that reaction is imminent. That is what gives you confidence. That's what bets confidence with your trading. Okay, if there's no reason and then you're just taking it because it's a breaker block or because it's an order block or because there is no story. Okay, so you must be able to understand the story of price. I'll try as much as we can not to spend too much time on this session. Okay, so we can get back to our activities for the day. So basically, I'll just explain this and then explain the higher time frame narrative, why we could still see more sales today, irrespective of that area. Okay, so let me take this out there. Okay, I think this is as good as you can get. So let's see the story inside of this point, right? So price got to, we were bearish, and then price got to a point where he gave us this move, this, and then this here as a grab on liquidity, right? And then a shift in momentum. Okay, this shift in momentum was supposed to be the birth of a bullish story, right? So for a few of us, or for a few people who trade intraday mitigation and counter trend corrections and all of those things, okay, you should already have an entry for a buy inside of this area, right? And then looking to break even your position once this high has been cleared, okay, which unfortunately never happened. Okay, unfortunately never happened, right? So it means this was some sort of fake out. Okay, it means this was some sort of fake out, some sort of inducement, like to trap in buyers, which was very clear. If I had seen this at the time, I personally would have taken this trade. Okay, and then we have price automatically begin to bet a new narrative. What is the new narrative? This here automatically flips towards the grab on liquidity, right? Shifts in momentum, mitigation, and then the actual break of structure. Oh, what have I done? I think he's gone. Give me a minute, guys. Okay, so I'll go over the story again. Bearish move, grab on liquidity. Okay, this here, and then this as a break of structure because it took out this high. So already we should be expecting price to now come and what? Violate this low as an inducement low, and then give us reasons to now buy to the upside. Okay, which didn't happen. So because this had failed to happen, it means that we would have gotten stop out on a loss if we were taking this. So -1, and then price, we would now begin to see price from the new bearish narrative that is continuing what it had already started. So this is the bearish narrative, right? This is the bearish narrative. The bullish narrative failed already. This now becomes the bearish narrative. Grab on liquidity, shift in momentum, mitigation, and then let me pinch this upward. This move here, they now betted the break of structure. So this is the inducement high before we had this break of structure. Now, this first move here, outside of the bullish story, is the shift in momentum. The first move outside of the bullish story is the shift in momentum. Don't forget, the same way after we have grab on liquidity and move upward, this first move is not break of structure. It is the shift in momentum. That is what tries to change the bullish story, the bearish story we had, into bullish. So this is now the low we are concerned about. Once this low was first taken out, we now have a shift in momentum. Once price comes to now take out what took out this low, we now have a break of structure. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the first move that changes the bearish narrative or bullish narrative is only a shift in momentum. So let us know the momentum is now, the strength is now bearish or the strength is now bullish. Now, once that candle that provided the shift in momentum is now broken, we now have the break of structure. So automatically, this is now the structural high that will be our internal inducement high. Okay, this became the structural high that should become the internal inducement high. So let's go back to the origin and see what price did. So you see what price did clearly, right? What did price come to do here? It came to grab precision. I don't know, you must not trade like this, but then I'm very big on precision. If I want to do it in, I want to do it. If it's this level, it's this level. I don't like working with zones. Price would, yeah, I expect reaction from areas. But when I want to take my entries, I should know what price is doing with my entry. Okay, so if you can see this clearly, what did price do? Price came exactly to where? So that level, that's exact area, and then grab liquidity of that point, and now gave us something we could work with if we are taking confirmations from the lower time frame. Now, for some of us who are not conversant with the lower time frames, it's going to be a problem because you may not know how to see this. So this here, grab the liquidity. This low now shifted momentum from what? From this, right? So early entries was now this as the what? Internal inducement. Early entries, this as internal inducement. Now, what is the late entry for this trade? Or confirmation entry for this trade? We have this, and then we now have this. Watch this probably. And then this as candle structure, and then this. Dealing with your 10 seconds or your 15 seconds time frame, as the case may be. Okay, automatically betting this as what? I want to deal with things you can relate with. Grab on liquidity, right? A what? Break of what?
Structure.
Right? So it means that, firstly, personally, I would have been willing to engage from here or from this structural high taking out. Or since this has already grabbed liquidity and shifted structure, don't forget, if an area has grabbed liquidity and shifted structure, it should be protected with respect to theory. right? So I would have now been looking forward to doing this. As the next entry level, and then looking forward to seeing more bearish movements to the downside. Does that make any sort of sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for those of you who still want to react off this level, we now have a shift in momentum, right? And then let me zoom this in out a bit. We have a grab on liquidity, and then we have this here as our what? Shift in momentum. Where's the break of structure? This is structural low. Okay, low to high to low to what? To high. Right? And this is previous structural points. And this could be internal inducement level for confirmation. Okay, now do not also forget, we are still sitting on a breaker block. That's why I said for some reasons, I am not comfortable with this setup. Okay, the low is fine. Personally, I will be in on this risk. In fact, I'm going in on an aggressive entry at this point because this is less than 5 pips. Okay, and I'll be working with this low at exactly 5 pips. Personally, okay? But then I am willing to risk this at a 0.50%, as the case may be. Why? Because the setup is not still clear for me, and then the order flow is still very much bearish. So if you want to wait for a more confirmative entry, you can now expect to see price take out this high, right? So we can have an actual 1 minute break of structure that is not intraday, because the break of structure I'm working with inside of here is a break of structure from the 10 seconds or the 15 seconds, as the case may be, on a more lower intraday time frame. Okay, so it's possible that we can still get rinsed and have this manipulated. Regardless, I am willing to take this risk because it still fits my risk parameters. Okay, so whatever works. But then let's see the higher time frame, like I explained earlier, as to how I am still looking for some level of bearishness on Euro USD. Give me a minute. Let me see. Let's see the 45 minutes, I think. 5 minutes. Give me a minute, guys. I need to reply a text. All right. Let me share a more clearer chat. New share, so we don't have too much noise. So I'll just go ahead to delete all of this and let's work. Now, okay, let's go from the daily time frame. So this is the story that is present on the daily time frame, right? So let's just go from here so we don't go too long. Breaker mitigation, broke structure, came back to mitigate flip zones on the daily time frame, right? Broke structure, came back to mitigate flip zones. Okay, so it means automatically we have, where's my parts, all right. It means on the daily time frame, we are still very much bearish. And if this be the case, then we could see this as what? Target. We could still see this as target liquidity. Can you see that? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so if this be the case, it means we are still heavily bearish on the daily time frame. Okay, and then this guy who started this movement had only come into here to feel some sort of imbalance. Let me see where I saw that's good. Okay, so this guy who came in here just came to rebalance all of this. Okay, rebalance all of this and establish. By so doing, also coming into these points to do what? So rebalance these areas and establish, and has shifted structure. Okay, but then resting inside of this area, which is valid area with respect to this move, to this move, then this move, to this move, then this move, to this move. So we can see some sort of corrections to take out these highs. Okay, this high as the first target, right? As internal inducement to now sponsor this move. If we should continue bearish. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in as much as we are looking forward to buying, let us understand that the daily time frame still has a target liquidity it is concerned with at this point. At this point. Hence, I will view the buy I am looking to take as a counter trend buy until the narrative is totally taken out. So if price uses this buy to now clear this high, if price decides to now clear this high with the buy, then I am certain we have a higher time frame structural shift, a higher time frame structural shift that I am now willing to now play on the large scale. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So irrespective of the fact that we are looking for buys, it is still important to know that we are trading probabilities. We are trading probabilities, and the best way to look at it is to want to look at it from the perspective of a probability. Is it possible that it should happen? Yes. What if it does not happen? Amazing. But then I have seen a setup that I'm willing to react to. And from this trade already, I am going to break even already on this trade as soon as I have this shift of this high. Okay? Because this is internal liquidity that has been grabbed. If this is indeed protected, after this grab, price should not come back into this area, except it is coming back for manipulation. Any questions? I hope some of you who wanted to take this trade, I did not stop you from taking it with the Zoom. Do we have any question? Any question? Any question? Confusion? Any question? Any confusion? Any challenge? This looks like a remitigation if the buy would take place. This is a remitigation if the buy would take place, then we should see further pricing. Okay, but then if that fails to hold from here, then we could end up clearing all of this as a build-up. Okay, so I'm break even already on this, at this low. If this takes this low, then I'm out of the trade. All right, can we take questions, if any? Questions, if any? Something you don't understand. Any question, any question, any question. Okay, in the absence of any question, I think I was able to explain what I wanted you guys to see. And then we'll just look forward and then see how this plays out. If we get a better area to react from. If we don't, we'll just look out. And then for those of you who had already gotten in on the, what's it called? On the buys, on the sales earlier in the morning, congratulations. So yes, break-even protocol breached.
Sir.
Yeah.
I don't really have a question. If you're going to send the video, I have a few things I would like to go back to check. If I'm still confused about them, then I can.
I'll send the video now.
You can ask. Then what's the highest you go on your stop loss, your PEEP? How many PEEPs do you do for your stop loss?
I don't have a highest PEEP. I don't have a lowest PEEP. I work with structure.
How much?
I work with structure.
Okay.
Yeah, I work with structure. For example, so people who chase what's it called? Tight stop losses and all of that and what have you. These guys are luring me to come in again, but then okay, people who chase tight stop losses and all of that is a very funny thing to do, because let's say price is giving me this. Let me use my ghost tool. Give me a minute. Okay. So I have this move. And I have this. Right? And then for some reason, I have the whole of this area. For some reason, I have the whole of this area as an imbalance. Let's assume. Right? And then I have what I would like to use as my entry candle here. Okay? Some people would want to force price to now give them a 2 pip continuation. Meanwhile, they have all of these zone vacant and they have the origin above this. In real sense, your stop loss is supposed to cover the whole area. In real sense, okay? That's a 14.2 pips. Now, it is left for you to say, oh, 14.2 pips for me is too big. But then I'm not risking pips. I am risking risks to reward. So it's the same 1% that will fit into 14.2 pips. The same 1% will fit into 3 pips. The same 1% will fit into 30 pips. I don't know if you understand me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But then if you think the gap is too much, instead of it to enter at this entry, allow price to do its thing here and now break what? This structure. When it breaks this structure, you can now look out for a smaller stop loss. So at this point now, you can now decide to work with this.
Okay.
That's if you are big on having very small stop loss, which I think is almost irrelevant. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, but then
so what it means is that once you come in and then you have all of that zone to play with.
Yeah.
You calculate the pips there.
Yeah.
Do your calculation on what lot you should use.
Yeah, for those of you who are new.
That will give you your percentage.
Exactly. For those of you who are new, if your 1% is $50, okay, if your 1% is $50, all what you are doing is 50, okay, 50 divided by how many pips is the stop loss? Okay.
Okay.
Let's say this stop loss was 14 pips. 50 divided by 14.
Okay.
It will give you an answer. Any answer it gives you, divide the answer by 10. You will get the exact lot size you are supposed to use, that if the trade goes against you, you will only be risking $50 as a percentage of your account.
Okay.
Okay. So if this figure changes to 35, right? When you do the calculation and divide the 50 divided by 35, it gives you a figure. Divide the figure by 10, it will still give you a lot size that you will use, that if the trade goes against you, you will still be losing only $50. So the size of the stop loss becomes, what's the right word again? Becomes immaterial, okay? Regardless of how many pips stop loss we have in the area.
Okay.
All right then. Any other question?
No, for now, until I go back to, until I watch the video,
All right, I'll send the video again.
All right, thank you so much, sir.
All right then. You guys have an amazing day then. Talk to you guys later. Let's see how this plays out. I really want to see how this plays out so I can have something to study over the weekend. Something I even want it not to go out as I expected, so I can have something to look forward to. Okay, so talk to you guys later. Have an amazing day, guys.
All right, sir.
All right, bye.